Welcome to the 2025 Open Championship at Royal Portrush Golf Club in Portrush, Northern Ireland. Our video this week is a little different. The chance to be in Northern Ireland only comes around so often. So, we took a look at the food. The local sights. A local seaside muni golf course with an awesome rental set. And we even talked to a legendary club builder from overseas. Yes, we got into some gear, and we'll get to that. But first, let's take a quick tour of Portrush, a seaside town with sandy beaches, beautiful views, fun parks, local vintage shops with golf items for sale, and even some local favorite Rory McIlroy art. In Portrush, a popular Bob and Bert's food chain is renamed Rory and Bert's, with an awesome logo too. But let's not forget Irishman Shane Lowry, commemorated by this huge local mural dedicated to his 2019 victory at Portrush. In the nearby town of Port Stewart, we stopped by a local golf course built in 1894. On this channel, we often cover the latest and greatest equipment at some of the top-ranked golf courses in the world. But golf doesn't have to be played this way to be enjoyed. For me, I found it quite enjoyable to play around at the old course at Port Stewart Golf Club, with a bag full of classic rental clubs, including a Callaway Heavenwood, Titleist Model 100 irons, a Spalding putter designed by T.P. Mills, and a few lake balls, while paying course fees that cost less than a plate of fish and chips. In poker, they say all you need is a chip and a chair. In golf, I say all you need is a ball and a club to have fun. But for the highest competition in the sport, at one of the most challenging and beautiful golf courses in the world, let's head over to Royal Portrush Golf Club, home of the 2025 Open Championship. While players prepared for the 153rd rendition of the event, we checked out the clubhouse. The first hole. With out of bounds looming close by on the right and left. The second hole, a long par 5. The fourth hole. The beautiful fifth hole. uphill 6th hole. The long and gorgeous 7th hole. The spectacular 8th hole. The gorgeous downhill 13th hole. The uphill 15th hole. The difficult 16th hole. The downhill 17th hole. And the closing 18th hole. Where the championship will be won or lost come Championship Sunday. And here's what everyone has their sights on, the Claret Jug. Here at GolfWRX.com though, we know what you're really here for. You're here for the gear. On the equipment front, we first checked out these FootJoy Harris Tweed limited edition shoes. And these Nike Open Championship Collection shoes. With matching bags and hoodies. And then we checked out custom staff bags from Strixon. Callaway. Cobra. And TaylorMade. Which one was your favorite staff bag? Leave your answer in the comments below. We also checked out custom putter covers from Odyssey. From Scotty Cameron. and from Lab Golf. We also got an in-hand look at the new Mizuno S1 irons, checking out the 7-iron and the 5-iron. We got a look at 2010 Open champion Louis Oosthuizen's setup, including a lead-taped lob wedge, custom irons, and his ping driver. We also checked out Tommy Fleetwood's new custom TaylorMade spider putter with milled top lines. And we looked at Akshay Bhatia's current setup. And dove into Chris Gotterup's bag after winning the 2025 Genesis Scottish Open last week. A huge shout out to Rutgers Golf, by the way. Then, we paused for a quick food break, where we checked out the food trucks, including American barbecue, of course, some fish and chips, and Luna coffee. And then we went over to the food tents with some traditional local offerings. But this American couldn't help himself and had to try out the pizza. It was actually pretty good, too. While inside the impressive Spectator Village, we also checked out the Open Shop. Perusing their selection of hats, shirts, hoodies, baseball jerseys, rain jackets, winter hats, staff bags, an awesome limited edition putter, koozies, bag tags, and more. We also checked out this blue Mercedes G-Wagon. And a birdie of a different kind. What do you do? Does he fly and then come back?
So we're not flying them just yet. At the minute, we haven't had a need to fly them.
Okay.
Due to the fact that just their presence here is keeping the area clear of gulls. But then what happens is later on in the week, when you have 50,000 people here at the Open each day, more people eating, more people dropping food and giving a real want for the birds to come down to eat, we'll give them a wee flight, and that just puts that extra wee bit of fear in the gull species to move them on in an environmental friendly way.
So what kind of bird is it?
She's a female horsehawk, so she's an American desert species.
Ah.
The likes of Arizona, the Sonoran Desert, Mexico,
Okay.
and things like that. These birds.
I live in Arizona.
Species. Yeah, well, she's close to home then.
Hey, girl.
Here, birdie.
Fellow Arizonian. Then we headed to the swing zone to catch back up with Thomas Devine, a former GolfWRX.com writer who randomly became a playing partner of mine at the Port Stewart Golf Club the night before.
Hey guys, my name's Tom and I'm a UK PGA professional here at the Open at Royal Portrush. So last night, you won't believe this story. I was walking back to my hotel, I was walking across Port Stewart golf course, noticed a guy playing golf on his own, had a bag of clubs. I kind of thought, you know what, I fancy a shot. So I approached the guy, I said, hey, do you mind if I have a shot? He said, I've got one ball spare. I said, I really can't take your last ball. He said, no, sure, take the last ball. So here we are, we hit the shot, we're walking down the fairway. I said, hey, what are you doing here this week? He said, oh, have you heard of a company called GolfWRX? I said, you won't believe it, I used to write for GolfWRX. He said, no way, when was that? I said, 7-8 years ago. He said, anyway, my name's Andrew Tursky. I said, I don't believe it. I pulled out my phone, got out the emails. This is the Andrew Tursky that I've been emailing 7-8 years ago. Here I am, borrowing a ball and a club in Ireland. It was the most random meet. So that was the short story. As I say, we're here at Royal Portrush and we are at the swing zone where we've got a massive team of UK PGA professionals giving free lessons to anyone that comes. Let's go have a look inside.
We got a tour of the swing zone that turned into some great advice to junior golfers and their parents.
This is a swing zone and there are a team of UK PGA professionals offering free 15-minute golf lessons for any spectators here at the Open. So it's open all day. We've got 8 hitting bays, we've got top tracer in the bays, there's a chipping area, there's a putting area, and as I said, anyone here at the Open can come, sign up at reception, they get the free 15-minute lesson with a PGA professional. Looking around here, we've got some putting, the chipping nets over here. Let's just have a look at these bays, 8 hitting bays. As I said, all kitted out with top tracer. Also this week in this area, the Golf Foundation are working. So they're a charity based in the UK that are all based around helping kids get into golf, growing the game. They have that area over there called the Junior Zone, where they're running kids sessions all throughout the day. So yeah, it's a pretty cool area. I think most people are enjoying the opportunity to spend some time with a PGA Pro, pick up a few tips, have a nice chat, play with some nice Titleist Callaway clubs. It's a pretty cool area to be, and as you can see, it's pretty busy around here. So this week we've naturally met a lot of children, and a few of the parents have been asking about club fitting for juniors and what are the best things to do with junior clubs. For me personally, I would always stick to the US Kids Golf brand. You might pay a little bit more money, but it's imperative to get your kids in clubs that are the right size and the right weight. A lot of the cheaper golf clubs out there, they'll be very long, they might be heavy, they also don't have much loft. So what you often see is the golf club controlling the child. You really need the child to control the golf club. So spending that little bit of extra money at the start can have some massive, massive positive influences on your child's golf. So I would seriously encourage you doing that. Also, best tips for kids. I mean, come on, the cliche, they've got to enjoy it. It's a very broad term, but I like to think of it in this way. If children, number one, enjoy the game, number two, they will come back, and number three, they will get better. If your child is in the right environment and they are coming back to golf every week, they're going to get better. What I often find is that parents rush to number three. They want the children to get better, but they forget about them going back and they forget about them enjoying it. We've got to look at the enjoyment first. That helps us retain the children, and if we retain them and they come back, they're going to get better. If there's any children watching, my best piece of advice, don't listen to dad.
Thanks again to Thomas for the great insight. Back to the equipment trucks, we caught up with Ping fitter Spencer Rothluber to talk Victor Hovland and the Ping IDI driving iron that's growing in popularity out on tour.
Basically, Victor has kind of played a driving iron for the last couple of years, a little bit of a competitor product. And we've always had a crossover style club, not true like driving iron. So US Open, we were actually debuting it probably a week before that. Got it in his hands, loved the sound and feel. Played at US Open, played at Travelers, and then over here it's been perfect for it. Played last week Scottish. It's honestly been kind of the best club we've had come out in a long time. It's been easy, guys love it, quick, in the bag, does all the things they need.
What did he do with the shaft? Any spec changes with the driving iron compared to the competitor club?
Nothing much. We've messed with loft just to get the window correct. Length, lie, all that stuff was pretty dialed in already. It was just really the sound and the feel they liked, and the performance obviously was great.
What is that performance like? What does the window look like? What is he spinning it at? What's the ball speed, carry?
Yeah, basically it's very versatile. Like a lot of the guys can flight driving irons. That's not that hard. Like you can hit it low. The issue is, can they lift it? Can they produce height? The IDI allows both things to happen. He's pretty average. He's in the 150s, high 150s with his driving iron. But honestly, the window changes all the time depending on what wants to hit, which is great. A lot of times spin is an issue with driving irons because they end up being too low and they dive. With this one, he can hoist it, he can turn it down, things like that. So,
are you seeing a lot more driving irons this week?
Yes, 100%. We've actually had guys play the 4-iron IDI as kind of a helpful 4-iron, and now we have guys that have a 2-iron and a 4-iron, or a 3-iron and a 4-iron, to really kind of have the chaser off the tee, but also get some height coming into the greens. So,
what are they saying about the course and the turf conditions and all that?
Very firm. Everything is firm. Obviously I deal with majority of the American guys over here, and it's crazy because they find it to be difficult because they're used to throwing it to the flag, stopping it. It's hard to be patient and hit it to spots. They get a wedge in their hand out here because the driver will go 360, 340 in different areas, and then they have 140 yards to the flag, and they think it's go time. But in reality, they have to hit it to a point, and with it being so firm and fast, especially the conditions, a lot of guys are changing bounce slightly on wedges as well, just to get a little tighter to the turf and really less chance of that kind of double hit type of feel, like that kind of hitting the big ball before the little ball, so to speak. So
I feel like we're seeing a ton of IDIs in the bag. What is it about that driving iron that's like so much better than years past?
Honestly, the feel. We have a concept called inner air. It's basically like an airbag that's inside the golf club, and it makes the sound and feel fantastic. And the performance, like we talked about, the ability to climb the ladder or flight it down from 2, 3, and 4. It's in a lot of bags, like more than expected. Not just a driving iron, a full utility club, even though it is called a driving iron.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, Spence, I appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
And then we met veteran Callaway builder and fitter Paul Monks for a more in-depth interview about equipment this week and life on the road from his perspective.
This week we did a lot of driving irons this week, so 19, sort of 17, lofty in that range. So yeah, a lot of the guys have been dialing those in this week.
Of the tour players you typically work with, who has the most unique setup and why?
This week, I can't really think of anybody at the top of the head, but we say I think with a lot of tour pros, so it's different to what maybe say with amateurs. Out here, you wouldn't find a 7-iron that's the same everyone will be slightly different. Different shaft, different length, different tapes. So there's no real standard out here. The standard is like their standard, or that's their DNA for their setup. So, it's not like if you walked into a shop and you looked at a load of 7-eyes in a fitting kit, then they'd all be pretty much the same. So out here, it's just, the spectrum can be quite vast. I've probably got, like, say, Sean Norris, his clubs are massively upright, and we've got, other guys that are massively flat. So those two people couldn't use each other's clubs, but,
Are there any specific clubs that come to mind that it's just like, this is a crazy build, this is really heavy, or this is a crazy stiff shaft?
Well, probably. Sean's build would be quite tough because his 4-iron is 64 degrees lie, and that's normal. That's a normal lie for a pitching wedge. So that build's quite tough because we have to pre-build all the heads, because obviously if you change the lie of a club after you've built it, then you change the length. So if you make it more upright, the club becomes shorter, or measured shorter, and obviously if you bend it a lot flatter. So if you had built that 4-iron at standard lie, and then bent it to 64, it would change the length by over a quarter of an inch.
From an equipment standpoint, what course throughout the year is the most difficult for players to prepare for?
I'd say this week, or this sort of event, because you just never know, what you get. It's Wednesday morning. We walked in Wednesday, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're almost sweating walking in there. It's so warm, and then that could be that. So you could get that on a Thursday, and then Thursday afternoon it could be torrential rain and the winds turn around. So this is a very challenging event to prep for, because almost every day is different, and in every day you could have all 4 seasons.
Yeah, we've heard like the greens are elevated, but the course is firm, so it's kind of presenting a difficult challenge when it comes to picking a driving iron, or maybe going with the fairway wood or something different. Have you noticed that?
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah. I think that's why it sparked a lot of the guys who are using driving irons, just trying to get that runner or get it back on the ground and kind of take the curvature that sometimes the wind can affect on the ball.
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed any differences between American equipment player setups and the players you typically work with?
Probably the biggest difference we've noticed out here is a lot of PGA Tour players fade the ball off the tee, and a lot of Europeans draw it. So that presents different challenges where, with spin and loft, because obviously if you're going to fade the ball, you're going to spin it more, and if you draw the ball, you're going to spin it less. So that's probably the biggest difference we notice.
Who's the best golfer that no one's ever heard of in the States, you think?
Best golfer no one's ever heard of. You got me there. It's a good question.
Okay. I'll ask you one more and you can think about it. What's your favorite course or city that you typically travel to throughout the year, and where has the best food?
Oh, where is the best food? Best food, probably Italy. Yeah. So you can't really beat the food in Italy. Best place, I think, to be honest, like the Open Championship at Portrush is got to be up there as a good venue. I mean, St Andrews is pretty special as well, so you can stay in the town. So the two are very good. We stay in the town and can walk in. And then outside that, I quite like Munich. I quite like Munich.
Okay. What's your favorite course?
Favorite course?
Like on the typical rota.
On a typical rota, favorite course. My favorite course. I mean, hasn't had a tournament there. Well, it has the Dunhill Links there. Is Kings Barnes. Probably my favorite course.
Okay. Good taste.
Yeah.
Were you able to think of the sleeper best player?
I'll have to have a look at some names. I can't think of anybody now, because you just think out here it's almost like everybody should know everybody. But I think I can't think of one. Okay. You got me. I've gone blank.
All right. And last question: do you have any advice for amateurs when it comes to equipment?
Yeah, have your clubs. Have your clubs custom fit for definite. Don't just buy them off the rack. See someone that can fit the equipment, and then just look after them. Change the grips, once a year, and have them loft and lied, because things change. Especially if you go on golfing holidays where you travel. I mean, your clubs get bashed up on planes, so you know, the more you look after them, they'll look after you.
Very important.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Back out on the course, we checked out Sean Norris's iron setup. Jason Day's Open Championship setup. As well as John Perry's bag. Darren Fichard's bag. Sebastian Soderberg's bag. OJ Farrell's bag. (2009) Open champion Stuart Sink's bag. And 5-time major winner Brooks Koepka's Open Championship setup. Then we watched as Patrick Reed signed autographs. And as fans marveled at the swings of their favorite players. We even checked out the local children's art display, where, not surprisingly, a Rory McIlroy piece won top prize. The energy was super high in Ireland ahead of the event. I can't imagine what it's going to look like come tournament time. But for us here at GolfWRX.com, our time overseas has, unfortunately, come to an end. We'll see you back in the States for the next episode, and cheers until then. We'll see you next time.